In this video, I wanted to talk about two central ways of coming to understand particular matter and substance, and how matter and substance, when ingested through various sensory processes, and particularly these natural processes, but also natural synthetic processes that influence and affect the self in these associative ways through the ingestion of meaningful things or matter and substance, meaningful in terms of how it conveys information that can transform our lives for ill or for better, um, through its influence on the mind and body through often these corporeal or incorporeal pathways of effect. And in this video, I'm going to talk about mostly this relationship between how material and substance can influence the inner workings of the mind, or this incorporeal domain of the self, uh, in relation particularly to the mind, brain, and body, but also, most importantly, our perceptions, our direct perceptions, and our direct psychological processes and psychophysiological processes that can be transformed through the ingestion of material and substance, not just through, say, pathways of direct consumption, whether or not you're eating something, or in the case of drug use, inhaling something or ingesting it through pathways of consumption, or other pathways. Um, this can also involve interactions, direct physical interactions in terms of our consumption or metabolization of tangible meanings or substances or interactions. So it could be how we interact with objects, even clothing, how clothing alters our psychophysiology through, for example, regulating temperature, or influencing how we perceive ourselves, or how we feel, our sense of our body in space, in relation to space, but also our connection to this extended aspect. It's almost like our nervous system is extended even to our clothing, and we can feel it move, and these undulations to it that have a corporeal element to them, and that ultimately influence the body and the mind through these material and substance-based interactions. And when we often, the most evident forms of these radical transformations of experience can come to us through psychoactive substances like coffee or alcohol, which tend to be pretty common. But another one that's really salient and tends to provide a really obvious and apparent effect when it's consumed is marijuana, and particularly cannabis. It's a psychoactive substance that has these psychedelic effects that have a direct influence on our perceptual psychology, and also our behavior there. There's a very robust transformation in terms of our perceptions, and how a material substance influences our internal workings regarding the mind in particular, and in relation to how the self perceives the mind, and how we perceive the world around us, that can allow us to explore more of these philosophical and natural wonders of the world through our direct experience, and through these transformative experiences that have to do with these um, material and immaterial or substance based interactions that have a psychophysiology to them, but also can be interacted to and experienced through our direct perceptions, and we can come to a deeper understanding of the qualia, or what it's like to experience these particular uh, domain specific encounters with various materials or substances, in which we come to learn and categorize its effects and influences and impact on the body through how we interact with it, and we develop greater self knowledge and self understanding through these interactions, and an aggregation of these interactions that develops our knowledge and understanding of the world alongside ourselves, and ultimately the nature of these materials and substances, but most importantly, the nature of the self, and the nature of our existence in relation to this, and the nature of the mind, how it's influenced through these materials and substances and how they impact the self. So that's all I wanted to say for this video. I hope you enjoy. Have